Hello everyone, hi, how are you guys doing today? Welcome back to another episode reaction to Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That's right, my name is Hello. What's up? Let me say right now real quick that usually I record a Buffy episode and then an Angel episode and then I alternate between them. I am recording this Buffy episode before the previous Angel episode because my schedule just worked like that better. It's better for me to do Buffy first so I can take my time editing it, and then Angel is a lot quicker, so I can kind of release both at the same time. So that's what I'm going to be doing. If it just so happens to be an Angel tie-in this episode, then I guess fuck my life. But yeah, sure, I'm just skipping right into Buffy. If you're on YouTube, this doesn't matter to you. Last time in Buffy, what happened? We got answers as to what's going on with Faith. And I talked about how it's very interesting the way they decided to do it, and it's kind of fun because they gave you something that is completely unexplained, and then they threw a couple of different things in which you could possibly maybe kind of explain Dawn. Again, the fact that I immediately went, oh, she's Buffy's a human half, and then the next episode was exactly that. It makes me think that was completely intentional. They would have assumed that people like me that are freaks would have started thinking about okay, what is the answer to any of this? And that was the one of them that they decided to go with. And then they were like, yeah, it's not that. Don't worry about it. And it's okay, it's not that. And then a couple episodes later, they finally give you an answer. They reveal that it's this monk ritual that they did in order to hide a key to something or somewhere or whatever, so that the beast doesn't take it. Whatever her name is, the abomination. It's a woman dressed in red, evil coded. The red part, not the woman part, just so we're clear. But yeah, last episode we got answers as to what Dan was, as well as we get to meet whatever her name is, the abomination. She was referred to as an abomination or something, but the subtitle said the beast when I was watching a scene. So I don't know. I'm gonna refer to her as both of those, but I don't know. Maybe there is an actual name. I don't know it yet. But it is this lady dressed in red. She yaps a lot. She says a lot of shit. She kind of doesn't take herself too seriously. It really comes across to me as the buffiest character to ever Buffy. But she was strong enough that Buffy had to run away, and then her monk died, and then before the monk died, he info-dumped us to the Dawn situation, and then Buffy went home and apologized to Dawn because they fought before, because, in hindsight, when I was editing that episode, this is fun, is that I was editing it and I was noticing how earlier in the episode Buffy was like, I can't stand Dawn, why does she get the special treatment, or why does is she so clumsy, she doesn't care or whatever. And it's the thing where when I look at that, I'm like, that should have been the giveaway as to what the episode was, because if we follow usual Buffy episode structure, the way that a lot of these episodes go is if we were to reduce a Buffy episode to its core essential parts, it would be introduction, characters just talking about random bullshit, and maybe something that ties to the past, or maybe some happenstance that happens in daily life. The second panel would be a character will point out something that they have an issue with, which is part of everyday life. Panel 3 is the main cast encounters as some sort of supernatural situation or entity that is a literal representation of the thing that they had an issue with in everyday life. And then panel 4 is the character going, you know what? That thing that I had an issue with, it's okay. I overcome it. Because we fought the supernatural avatar of it and we grew. And this show is just an excuse for a coming-of-age show that also has a supernatural filter on top of it. It's we punch demons, but the demon has to mean something that I have an issue with in everyday life. So whenever at the beginning of the episode, Buffy was just talking about how much she had issues with Dawn, and even that scene when Buffy does breakfast for Joyce. We're about to talk about Joyce in a second. But and then Dawn kind of takes credit for it, and Buffy has an issue with that because of course she would. It's the thing where that is the part of the episode where we get to see the things that the character has an issue with. So following the structure, then that at the end of the episode, they would have to have some kind of resolution as to Dawn so that Buffy can come to terms with Dawn. Like, that's Buffy's structure. And I feel like maybe I should be more aware of it so that, like, I can realize... I mean, I already do it sometimes when I'm watching an episode. Characters are going to start talking about something that they have an issue with, and I will go like, oh, this is the X episode. I say it a lot. Like, this is the alcohol is bad episode. You know, that kind of shit. Like, you can tell the moment the characters start talking about a topic, and you're like, oh, this is what this is. Okay. Joyce's brain cancer or something. We used to think that it was something supernatural, and it might still be, but what we thought it was, what Buffy thought it was something related to the ball thing. But no, it's actually completely unrelated. Dawn is the oddity, and it just so happens that Buffy found out that way, but they don't know what is happening to Joyce, and that is concerning. And like, okay, the thing about Joyce is that in real life, if you had someone that you knew that would get this like headaches and maybe faint, like that happens more often than it should. So you wouldn't immediately assume an incredibly bad thing. It would be like, oh, that's kind of normal, and maybe we take the person to the doctor and we find something out, and then it's fine. Like they had some like they were missing some kind of like levels on something. So through medication, that is solvable. Because I am watching a drama show that is also a coming of age show, I'm looking at that and I'm like, Joyce is fucking dead. Like she has a brain cancer. Like her head is gonna explode The Boys style. Like I have no clue what's going on with Joyce, but the fact that something is going on with Joyce, that they spent a significant amount of time addressing it last episode, and last episode ended with Dawn and Buffy kind of holding each other, being like, what's wrong with Mom? And Buffy goes, I don't know. That really sells to me that like, okay, this is serious. Like from like a meta perspective, like a storytelling perspective, if it was nothing, they wouldn't have addressed it as hard as they did. But because it is something, they are addressing it a lot. So now I'm waving a flag for Joyce here, and I'm like, oh god, this is gonna suck, isn't it? That's kind of how I feel. The funniest thing they could possibly do is for Joyce's situation to be nothing, and then she dies anyway, right? Like somebody just stabs her, and that's how she dies. Like the brain thing, her headaches and shit, that's actually nothing. That is easily solvable, and it is solved easily. And then, like, I don't know, lightning kills her. Like something random like that would be the funniest thing to possibly do. And if I was ranking the story, maybe that's something what I would do. Like it would be kind of funny, but also it would be like almost like something that happens in a story that really wants to stick to whatever theme they're going for rather than reality. All right, I'm yapping too much. I need to start recording this. So yeah, Patreon, check out the Patreon. Link in the description below, pop up on the screen. You can support the channel, watch the next 2 episode reactions to Buffy already, and I'm doing Angel watch-alongs. I'm probably going to be posting this at the same time that I'm posting previous week's Angel watch-along. So yeah, anyway, that's it. Support the channel, help a lot. Let's begin. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Season 5, Episode 6. Let's go. Hold on. What the? That was from last season. That thing with Tara?
I'm sleepy. Do you mind if I keep the light on? I was gonna look up some spells.
It's fine. I don't need to be snuggled.
Vixen. Just like to be useful. You know,
okay.
To the gang.
She feels very insecure. We've seen hints of that.
Never feel useful.
You're essential.
Every time she's been useful, she's been, like, literally a lifesaver. She's the one that figured out that Buffy wasn't Buffy, she was Faith. Oh, she told Giles, okay.
Tell me about it.
This is crazy to tell. Yeah.
No. She thinks she's my kid sister.
We all do.
Are you gonna tell her?
How can I?
We can't.
This woman, whatever she was.
If she's not a vampire, we're kind of fucked. She can just bust into our house and kill us all. You know, that's the only things that save us from vampires.
He's, in Spain with his secretary.
Oh, gotcha.
Living the cliche. When he bailed on us, I remembered Dawn cried for a week. Except she didn't.
All these fake memories.
I can still feel what it was like. I have to take care of her. I want to.
Do we tell the others?
No. No one. They'd act weird around her. And it's safer for everyone if they don't know.
It's true that they would all be weird around her. I don't trust any of them to act normal around her.
She'll come for us.
Alright. Okay. She was buried for a couple hours.
Now I'm upset.
Okay, so she's not the most powerful entity in the universe, at least not in this form, because she was able to be held off by rubble for at least a while. I'm really curious about whatever this thing with Terra is. We saw in the recap a scene from last season when I remember that they were doing spells, but it was when they were still like meeting each other for the first time. And it was when Terra hid like powder and shit just to spend more time with Willow. It's like, oh no, this spell failed. I guess we have to keep, trying together. Which I thought was the most endearing shit in the universe. So that's interesting. We got to see that. Like, that's gonna matter somehow. I feel like I never see college anymore.
Draz, I noticed you're doing the smallest amount of helping that can actually be called helping.
Well, I saw myself in more of a patriarchal sort of role. Pointing and scowling.
You two, stop that! He started it! He called me a bad name. I think it was bad. It might have been Latin.
Stop it, or you're going to break something.
Sometimes this cast is just a bunch of children. Sometimes they are not, but a lot of times they are. In ways that surprise even me to this point.
Mom not being well, I'm hardly ever here. Just figured I'd save a little cash for the semester, that's all.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Where's Dawn?
I think she just walked out.
Dawn?
Some of your cities are my cities.
I know, come help me fold.
That sudden concern for Dawn that she has now. This is interesting because Buffy kind of cares more now than she did yesterday.
You learn her source, and we'll introduce her to her insect reflection. That was funny. If you studied Tagler and Mythic Rites, and are a complete dork.
She's like me when I make JoJo references.
Guys, now remember, you have to be at the bronze by 8.
Bronze.
For...
Tomorrow night, Tara's birthday.
Oh god, it's this kind of thing. God damn it. I hope this episode ends well. I'll be sad otherwise.
What's the story?
Okay, multiple people?
Makes like 5 this month. They told me Sunnydale was gonna be interesting.
Also, third time we see this doctor, this guy. So he's gonna be a recurring character this season. That could be fun, having a recurring character that is someone who maybe he's about to die in 20 seconds by the way. But it would be fun if we had a recurring character. He's about to die. A woman in Raid, maybe? Nope. Well, I don't know what that is.
I need a favor.
I was right, actually.
Please come again for more purchases.
I don't want to frighten the people.
She's doing great. Shut up.
They come in, I help them. They give us money in exchange for goods. You give me money for working for you. I have a place in the world now. I'm part of the system. I'm a working gal.
I'm so happy for her.
Well, why don't you start organizing the shipping orders?
Oh, no, that's boring. I just want to do the money parts.
It's a big deal for Willow, though. You are gonna be there.
Yeah. Barring monsters. Your definition of narrow is impressively wide.
Well, you didn't give me much to go on. She looks human, so the mugshots aren't any use. And you can't be more specific about what she's like.
She was kind of like Cordelia, actually.
It's right in front of us, and we're too blind to see it.
What did the thing say? What Giles read last episode. That must which not be named. I remember I heard that during the editing and I was like, what would that be?
You said you got a present already.
Yeah, that was a tangled web of lies, sweetie. I don't really know her that well.
I know.
I mean, she's nice.
Yeah, nice. Sort of.
I don't necessarily get her, but she's real nice.
It is true that, she kind of spends her time with Willow, and then by extension.
But she's super nice.
You betcha.
Oh, this is awkward.
Think there'll be a lot of Wiccas there? Heavy Wiccan crowd?
It's just gonna be you guys.
I just hope we fit in. Not awkward.
Train or stretch out. Just do something to work off the tension.
This is a Spike fantasy, and he's gonna kiss her. Make out already. I wonder if he's dreaming, or if this is just a daydream.
You want me, Slayer?
Because one is better than the
Oh,
other.
I'm coming. I'm coming right now!
That's even worse. Oh,
What about you, baby?
Yeah. That's worse, actually. Whatever I was thinking. Man, that's fucking crazy.
We're in a magic shop, and you can't think what Tara would like.
And what, are we gonna get her some cheesy crystal ball?
Who's that guy? Random guy?
For all these magic books? These books got spells in them, turn people into frogs, things like that.
You sound like a concerning individual.
Are you all witches, or...?
Was there something in particular you were looking for?
Her center of power
Well,
was.
what do you know?
I'm already...
You don't have a hug for your big brother?
Okay. That's the relationship, and I don't think it's a good one. Just based on her reaction, it doesn't look like a good relationship.
Hi.
Nice to meet you.
These are my friends.
Wow, that's more people than you met in high school.
How did you find? I mean, how come you came?
We came down to camp, or been all over the campus.
We?
Oh, the whole family. Oh god. You look stuck up.
Dad. Hi.
Here's my girl.
Cousin Beth. Hey.
One of your dorm mates said I might find you here.
These are friends. This is Mr. Giles. He runs the shop.
Well, I don't mean to interrupt your plans. I know we've come on you kind of suddenly, but I thought we could have dinner. Why don't I pick you up at 6? And we'll do some catching up.
Yes, sir.
Nice to meet you all.
The vibes are bad. I don't know what's going on, but the vibes are bad.
They seem nice. You know, they're okay. Want to get into research mode? Sure.
Completely just want to move on from that. Yeah. Bad vibes. You know, I want a Tara episode, but I'm also so invested into Tara as a character. I don't want to see her sad. That's where I'm at.
See you later. Whoa, 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 whoa. Where do you think you're going?
I'm going to Melinda's for dinner.
Since when?
Nowish.
You can't. It's not safe for you to walk there.
It's across the street. What's the big deal? I'm just gonna go.
No.
Yeah, Buffy's the one acting weird.
Besides, Melinda's a bad influence. I don't like you hanging out with someone that short.
Girl,
She makes me crazy.
That's kind of the word I was searching for.
Riley's kind of in the same spot of like, why is she?
You're experimenting with shortness. Gotta nip that in the bud.
It's also like the next door neighborhood.
Running
Like,
out whenever she'd like.
It's more than that.
What do you mean?
You tell me.
yeah, he can tell.
This demon chick is exciting and new.
If we're in trouble here, I could contact Graham. Maybe get the government boys on this.
No. No, I don't want them anywhere near this.
Just a suggestion.
Fair.
The fewer people that are involved, the safer I will feel.
Every time I think I'm getting closer to you, I gotta take off.
Wait, what?
I'll call you later.
Riley, I want you to help.
I know you got a lot in your mind. You decide you want to let me in on any of it. You let me know. I'll come running.
Okay, he can tell that there's something she doesn't want to say. They were there waiting. Okay, how do you act when you're alone? What is all this nonsense?
Wanted me to see all these toys. You don't even try to hide it anymore. I'd hoped maybe you'd gotten over the whole witchcraft thing. Then they told me to look for you in that store.
I didn't know that you were coming.
Of course we came. We haven't heard from you in months. Your birthday's getting closer and closer. You know what that means.
I don't think it's.
Okay, what are we doing?
It won't mean that.
You're turning 20. It's the same age your mother was when she... Do your friends even know?
Yes.
Are you lying to me? Tara, you're coming home with us. You know it's the only way.
Home?
You can't control what's going to happen. You have evil inside of you, and it will come out. And letting yourself work all this magic is only going to make it worse.
It doesn't feel evil. Sir.
She also only refers to him as sir.
I'll give you some time, but we need to be gone by morning.
Okay.
Your family loves you, Tara, no matter what. How do you think your friends are going to feel when they see your true face?
So, okay, there's more to Tara than we knew.
A slayer? Please don't tell me I was fighting a vampire slayer.
Okay, so she didn't know that.
I had friends, and they heard about this. And you know, she's going around telling everybody. I mean, she's probably just... Pay attention! I am great, and I am beautiful, and when I walk into a room, all eyes turn to me, because my name is a holy name, and you will listen!
What is your name?
Get your friends, find the girl, kill the girl.
Okay, so she doesn't even want to do it
You
herself
have the cutest
necessarily.
little separating sores.
My name is a holy name. Okay, what's up, Tara? I'm afraid she's just gonna run away without telling anything to anybody.
Oh, there's Scooby afoot. Giles got a meaning about our spanking new menace.
You should go. They don't need me for that. You can fill me in.
No, you have to come. Maybe we can try that spell. You know, the one to find demons?
That didn't work.
Yeah, but we only tried it once, and I think I got some ingredients wrong.
She's a demon. That's what she didn't... Okay. That recontextualizes that scene from a season ago.
I'm really tired. Okay.
We like demons here. Buffy dated one. Xander is currently dating one. Willow dated a werewolf at one point. Like, we literally just fuck demons in the show. That's what we do.
Blind Gadria, desolate queen.
I may have a lead on this month.
So what are you doing? I would imagine memory alteration. Erase herself from their memory.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's what I would imagine. Just so she can run away and not be a pain to anyone.
Let you come in here. Night after night.
I come for the ambulance.
Well, if Willie was here, then...
Yeah, Willie's not here.
Yeah, what's up with Willie?
Drinking alone? It's not a good sign. This place is such a dive.
No, it's great. You just have to close your eyes.
We could go somewhere else.
That's quickly.
Private.
Are you trying to kill me, miss? You're trying to drink my blood?
My heart belongs to another. Besides, I don't go out with vampires.
Oh my god!
Hi, baby.
This is like insane levels of obsession. It's like funny at this point. It was already a bit funny. Now it's like...
Oh, I ran into Carol Bates, you know, and she said the Lair demon was recruiting his brethren to kill the Slayer.
How's that?
Can't have her die on me.
You think they might actually do it? Kill her?
God, that would be pleasant.
Well,
The way that word came out, that would be pleasant.
Get a decent seat. If the Slayer's gonna die, I'm gonna watch.
He's gonna help. If he goes and he helps, that would be insane.
Tara. Beth, what are you...
I was looking for you.
Cousin Beth?
I'm not coming back with you.
You're not? You selfish bitch.
What?
Okay.
You don't care the slightest bitty bit about your family, do you? Your dad's been worried sick about you every day since you've been gone. There's a house that needs taking care of. Donnie and your dad having to do for themselves while you're down here living God knows what kind of lifestyle. I can't wait till your little friends find out the truth about you. Doesn't matter how innocent you act, they'll see. Unless you do some kind of spell on them. You did. I'm telling your father. No! You think you can just go around cursing people? Your dad's gonna pop.
It was just so they wouldn't see. So they wouldn't see the demon part of me.
Okay.
Please don't tell Dad. It's harmless.
Well, they can't see demons! Not just her. All of them.
Don't you see how out of control you are? Now you've put a spell on them. Is that right? Is that a human thing to do? If I were you, I'd tell them first. And then I'd tell them goodbye.
What if these demons, like, they thrive on fear or something? So because nobody sees them, they're powerless. That would be the funniest shit. Can Buffy smell them? Sense them somehow? Just proved to do that before.
Where'd it go?
Onto this. Go.
Does anyone have any sand? Oh, Spike wasn't affected! Oh, Spike is gonna save us all! No, he doesn't like it. He's gonna help. That's fucking funny.
You're welcome.
Oh my god, he wanted appreciation too.
Already been injured once this month.
Shut up.
Everyone quiet. Slayer senses.
Buffy, behind you.
Okay. Oh, cool weapons! Is that a sickle that's also a cross?
Can you see it?
Oh God.
Yeah, she realizes she fucked up.
Your veil, give evil form, and break my spell.
Can't they not see them as well? Well,
What in God's name is that?
Lay up, demon. Fun little buggers. Big with the marrow sucking.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I was trying to hide. I didn't want you to see what I am.
Demon. The women in our family have demon in them. That's where the magic comes from. We came to take her home before things like this started happening.
well, this is actually completely unrelated to her.
Really got us killed.
I'll go. I'm very sorry.
Wait. Go? She just did a spell that went wrong.
It's not the point, and it's not your concern. She
Shut up,
belongs with
man.
us. We know how to control her problem.
Look at me. I trusted you more than anyone in my life. Was all that just a lie?
No.
Do you want to leave?
It's not your decision, young lady.
I know that. Do you want to leave?
You're going to do what's right, Tara. Now I'm taking you out of here before somebody does get killed. The girl belongs with her family. I hope that's clear to the rest of you.
You want her, Mr. McClay? You can go ahead and take her. You just gotta go through me.
What?
That's what I thought.
You want to take Tara out of here against her will? You gotta come through me.
And me?
And my axe.
And you're not just dealing with two little girls.
Yeah, all the
You're
warriors.
dealing with all of us. Except me. Except Spike.
Yeah, I'm just here to hang out.
You people have no right to interfere with Tara's affairs.
Neither do you, bitch!
Are her blood kin. Who the hell are you?
We're family.
And everyone rejoiced. It was beautiful. Perfect.
You gonna let him just...
Shut up, Donnie.
Tara, if you don't get in that car, I swear by God, I will beat you down.
And I swear by your full and manly beard, you're gonna break something trying.
I hope you'll all be happy hanging out with a disgusting demon.
I was about to say.
Excuse me, what kind?
What?
Is he the exact same
What
kind of
demon
demon?
is she? There's a lot of different kinds. Some are very, very evil, and some have been considered to be useful members of society.
I work at cash register.
What does it matter?
Evil?
Oh, I love that. They're completely ignorant. Completely ignorant.
Why don't I make this simple?
Hey! Hey! He hit my nose.
He hurt.
And it hurt. Him, I mean.
So he's...
Now it works on
She's...
humans.
There's
Yeah.
no demon in there. It's just a family legend. A bit of spin to keep the ladies in line.
Okay.
You're a piece of work.
That's even worse.
I'm not a demon.
You're not a demon.
You're welcome.
Mr. McClay, I would say your business here is finished.
And leave before we actually curse all of you.
For 18 years, your family has taken care of you and supported you. If you want to turn your back,
Dad. Just go.
magic.
Gay people.
Are you happy now?
Very much so, yeah. Like, it's funny how positive the answer is to that. Yeah, actually. Anyway, so that was the lesbian running away from a Christian family episode. Like, that's what that episode was. The whole demon thing is just an allegory for that. I was gonna say, Riley, you're on?
Sorry, I'm late.
No, see, because your insect reflection represents your insignificance in terms of the karmic cycle.
But it's still not funny. My dance?
Good birthday. Best birthday. I was just afraid if you saw the kind of people I came from, you wouldn't want to be anywhere near me.
I think about what you grew up with, and then I look at what you are. It makes me proud. It makes me love you more.
Every time, even when I'm at my worst, you always make me feel special.
Magic.
Oh, they're floating! Oh, it's cute. It's really cute. It's really cute. The conservative family episode. Lesbian runaway. Alright, so when that episode started happening, I was like, I'm happy to see a Tara episode, but I'm also worried that we're seeing a Tara episode. Like, okay, so I think Tara has definitely, this was already the case before, but she has definitely reached the point, the character status of, I am intrigued as to what happens in the story of the show and what happens to other characters in the show, like what are the lore or the themes or the ideas that we're throwing here. I am invested into Tara as a character. Like, I get personally worried for Tara. Like, that is the place that she occupies, that no other characters occupies in the show. Like, I love Anya for a variety of reasons that I already addressed, but like, I am not worried for Anya. I mean, maybe I would if there was an episode that was like fully Anya, but I think Anya is a character that I like a lot. But Tara is a character that I personally feel a connection with, and I don't want anything to happen to her. So when this episode started going, I was like, oh my god, what are we doing? Like, I was happy to get Tara. I was worried that it was gonna be bad. Now, I already said this. I mean, at the beginning of this episode, at the intro of this video, I mentioned how Buffy episodes are kind of like, oh, this is the X episode, you know? Like, you can tell what mirror to the real world they're actually addressing through some kind of supernatural lens. In this case, it was the topic of a lesbian that ran away from her conservative family, and the conservative family comes back and is like, what are you do with all this weird lesbian shit? You know, you need to come back to your family. We're related. We know what's best for you. And it's not any of that nonsense. And all you gotta do is just replace the word lesbian with demon. Which also works for a conservative Christian family. It's just the idea of like, yeah, all of this like weird satanic shit. Fuck that, you know? Coming back home. None of that rock and metal bullshit. It's only country music out here, god damn it. Yeah, but like, yeah, that's the situation with Tara. So, okay. The thing about that though is that there are a couple of elements about this storyline with Tara that are kind of silly. In the sense that, okay, it's not silly in the sense that it's bad, or it doesn't make any sense, because I think it does. That Tara would cast a spell in order to hide from everyone else. I mean, no, but that creates questions because Tara literally wanted it to hide. She wanted for people to not be able to see her. Oh, I guess, yeah, Buffy couldn't see Spike. That's what happened. Okay, but because I was under the impression that Spike was just ignored, but I guess she just didn't see Spike because Spike was invisible. Because that spell applied to all demons. However, it is incredibly... I'm sorry to say this about you, girl, but it's incredibly dumb to do something like that to this specific group of people who are fighting demons every day of the goddamn week. And they are the saviors of the world. So, like, casting a spell that makes them so they can't see demons anymore is kind of wild. To her credit, she casted it and then immediately went back to them after having her confrontation with the cousin. So maybe in her head she was like, I have to make sure that they're okay, because she realized what she had done. If we go by that, then it's like, sure, right? Because at the same time, even though what she did was something that is incredibly dumb, it is also something that was an emotional response. And in that venue, it makes complete sense. I am not going to say that that's something that doesn't make sense, because it does. It absolutely does. I've done dumber shit in the exact same situation that Tara was at in life. Like, the exact same point, I've done worse things to my life, to my own detriment, and the people around me, for that exact same emotional reaction. So, like, Tara having that emotional reaction, doing that, completely understandable. And I love that everyone at the end of the episode was also completely understandable, right? After this shit happens, and Tara's family comes in and they try to get her, and then they just tell everything to everyone, and they all go like, oh yeah, you're gonna have to go through me, right? Like, Tara is part of my family, right? We're family here, god damn it. But it was this thing where, like, Buffy was like, you're gonna get through me, and through me, and through me, and my axe and my bow. Like, everyone was just like, yeah. Like, everyone is helping, all the warriors. And it was really adorable. But it's also this thing where, like, in that moment, there was a moment of tension that they wanted you to have, where Buffy said like, oh yeah, you can take her. They wanted you to have that moment of tension of, you think for a second that they're going to give Tara away, because Buffy is like angry enough that she endangered Dawn, because Buffy was incredibly overprotective of Dawn today. So if there is a universe where you can make a case for Buffy being like, oh yeah, take Tara, fuck that bitch, she almost got us killed, almost got Dawn killed, right? And then we go into like Buffy that was really dark, and then I don't know, we develop Buffy in that direction. But instead it was like, no, she's my friend, she's my family, and you have to get through me in order to get to her, right? And everyone just started coming in, and everyone was like, yeah, we're standing here with Tara, she's part of our gang, she's part of our family. And it was beautiful because like everyone just, they didn't even address the fact that Tara endangered everybody. They didn't even say anything. They were just like, no, I will fucking jump in front of the bullet for her. Fuck you. I like that. There was a moment of like, Tara feels incredibly guilty and sorry, and she wants to run away. And the only reason why she didn't is because Willow stood in front of her, just looked at her in the eyes, dead in the eyes, and asked her, do you want to leave? And even Tara's family was like, you don't get to choose or whatever. And Willow was like, shut the fuck up. Tara, do you want to leave? And Tara in that moment was like, I can't lie, because she can't. You can't lie there. So then Tara just, and I like the, I don't think she even said a no. And this is something I want to check. I'm sorry, there's going to be a lot of like small analysis as to like little things that Tara does or did in this episode or in general. And you're going to have to bear with me here. Yeah, Tara didn't even say no. Tara just, crying, tears into her eyes, just shook her head, just like. And I love that small little detail, because the thing about characters like Tara, characters like this, is that there is an internal pull between two conflicting realities, two conflicting things about them, which is Tara's internal conflict of, I hate myself because I am cursed and evil, because I grew up to think that. And I just almost got everyone killed. Oh my god, I am bad. I am sorry. I need to leave. I need to run away. Versus, I don't want to leave. I love these people. They make me happy. And there is that internal pull between those two sides that you can always see in people like that. And you can always see it in Tara. And this is why I love Tara so much. I talked about it multiple times, which is the idea of a character that just runs away. And the reason why a character runs away is because of that. They run away because they feel like their presence would be a detriment. But in order for that to be real, they would have to care. And so that means that it's a character that does care a lot, and they wish that they could stay, but they feel like they can't. And that is all internal. So in that moment, I can't stress enough how important it was for Willow to stand in front of her, look at her dead in the eyes, and go, do you want to leave? And Tara was, no. And she didn't even say no because she couldn't, right? Which is what I mean. She doesn't have it in her to just say what she wishes, but her body betrays her. She's just like crying, and she's like, and so everyone just saw that, and everyone immediately identified what's happening with Tara, how she feels, and it's like, okay, we're all gonna fucking die for her if needed. Like, we're all gonna stand up for this fucking girl. She's part of our group. I love that. Beautiful. If I had had someone like Willow in my life when I was younger, things would have been better for me. This episode, I mean, truly is the idea of conservative family chasing the lesbian daughter that ran away. And something that's interesting too is the other members of the family. We have fucking Donnie, abusive brother. Like, we can tell immediately Donnie's a control freak, and you can see it at the very end, just kind of just like the dad in the same venue. The dad is stern as fuck and just complete traditionalist. But Donnie is fucked up in a completely different way, because Donnie feels, in the two scenes he was in, Donnie to me is like someone who is kind of also victim of this incredibly like traditionalist family, but because he's a male, he kind of doesn't have to deal with the brunt of it. So instead of feeling sympathetic towards Tara, he actually utilizes Tara in order to kind of like regain some of the power that he doesn't feel like he has in the family. And this is all very real. These are all very real family dynamics in real life. Is this idea of like this incredibly like traditional conservative family. They don't get freedom. They don't get choices. And Donnie is someone who, because he doesn't have to take on the brunt of it, he doesn't suffer in the way that Tara does. He doesn't have to abide to that. But instead of actually helping her and feeling for her, he uses her as a punching bag. So then he can feel better about himself. So that he can retain some of the control that he wished he had in his life. Which is fucked up in a completely different level. Hate that. Fucking awful. But that's the character we got. And I do have to say though, kudos for making characters like this that I am able to like put so much together about who they are, with them just having existed in like two scenes. Like that's it. But like I can tell so much about them already. And then we got Cousin Beth, which is honestly kind of maybe the most tragic one, because she's a woman in the family. She's a victim of it. The fact that she traveled with the dad and the brother too, even though she's like cousin is like distant enough for it to be like a little weird. Like I don't know, maybe the families are together, but then why isn't anyone else here? It's other than dad, brother, and cousin. Cousin is like weird little reach. And the reason for that is because, well, they are controlling. Cousin Beth doesn't get to stay by herself. She has to go with them because they need to keep an eye on her because she's evil. Ooh. And the conversation that Tara has with Beth too, where Beth is like, I'm gonna tell your father, you know? What does she call it? Like, you selfish bitch, you know? Like, you have no idea what, you know, your dad and Donnie, they have to run things themselves or whatever. It's like, oh my God. It's like, Beth is arguably the worst victim of this because she is the one that is still stuck in that situation, which sucks. The best case scenario for this episode would be for Beth to like be able to be persuaded to realize these things, but that doesn't happen. So Cousin Beth is in a situation where, oh yeah, I am also part of this like evil curse like demon family or whatever, and I'm evil and I don't have any rights or choices, and I should just let these two dictate every aspect of my life. And you know what? Things are better for it. They take care of everything, right? I am not gonna make a commentary on the like modern like TikTok trend or whatever of trad wives coming back. I'm not gonna do that, but it's real bad and I hate it, and that's what I'm thinking about now. But yeah, Cousin Beth is unfortunately someone that is still stuck in that situation. All we could do is hope that in the future I mean, it would be fun if she were to appear again, but I don't think she will. That's kind of like really weird to bring this like one-off character. They could, but I don't know. But it would be nice if in the world she like realized that, you know, Tara was right and like ran away at some point. And then she gets to enjoy her life, like exploring new things and all that stuff. That would be great. But yeah, the twist at the end that it's like, for once, it's not demon bullshit. It's just a conservative family who's just lying to this woman in order to take their rights away from them. It's so fucked up. Like, for once, I mean, like, we did use the supernatural filter in order to explore something very real, but then at the end it's like, actually that was just real. Actually that was just a thing. There were demons that they encounter, but Tara's not a demon, and the whole issue is that they believe that she is, but she isn't, and no one in this family is actually. They're all just a bunch of controlling misogynists. That's it. Which, oh lord. Okay. That's our episode. It's bad. I hate it, but I liked it. I liked how when everyone stood up for Tara, because like earlier in the episode, Tara was like, I don't feel like I fit in, and this is something she mentioned before too, like like the first or second episode of the season, she was like, she doesn't feel like she fits in. And I think even last week there was a moment where Willow was doing a really cool like light spell, and Tara was like, how do you learn to do that? And Tara felt like she was being left behind. So in this episode, we get to see how early in the episode, Tara goes, you know, like, I feel like I need to, like, read more and get more, like, practice with more spells, because I feel like I'm being left behind by you, but I also feel like I am not being useful, and I want to be useful to the group because I feel like I don't fit in. And it's like, oh. So it was incredible when at the end everyone just stood up for her and was like, yeah, she's our family, you know, because we also had that conversation between like Buffy and Chandler where both of them were like, yeah, she's nice, but you know, we don't really know anything about her, you know, like we don't hang out that much. It's like, oh, she's nice, and we know she likes Willow. Like Willow's girlfriend is nice, and that's kind of it, you know. She's kind of an outsider to the group. She hangs out and she knows a lot of things, but like, we don't hang out together, which makes sense because Tara is very much that like, I'm shy, but like I also don't feel like I'm worth it kind of character. So like, she hangs out with Willow and they have the relationship, and it's beautiful and it's wholesome, and I love that Tara feels better for it. But then actually trying to grab Tara and put her in like a social situation with tons of people and making tons of friends, that's gonna take a little bit more work. So the fact that everybody identifies that like, oh yeah, we're kind of distant from Tara and we don't really know what to get to her, they actually kind of forgot that Tara's birthday was coming. And like, it is fucked up in the sense that like, you can tell that Tara is not that present in their minds. But then at the end of the episode, when they all have that realization of like, this is what's going on with Tara, everyone immediately is just like, fuck all of you. Tara is part of my family. Tara is part of us. Love that. Spike is great, dude. Every fucking episode, we have to take a moment to dedicate it to Spike for just being an incredible fucking character. Oh, by the way, I do want to mention that like earlier. By the way, I do want to mention that like last week. Well, yeah. When I posted last episode last week, I mentioned like the moment that Spike like fell in love with Buffy, and that was something that like he cemented into himself, and he was acting really weird. I saw that and I was like, I think this is probably the moment where a lot of people like immediately fell in love with Spike. Like this was it. This was the line. And then when I posted that, like I think like the first comment that somebody left me on Patreon was like, I feel called out because that was me. This was the moment that I realized I loved Spike, and I was like, I fucking knew it. But like I do have to say, like, this makes Spike so much better of a character. The moment where like Harmony is coming back from shopping or whatever, and Spike is just like tending to this like mannequin head and just pretending that it's Buffy and looking at her lovingly and caressing her chick, and then when she arrives, she's like fucking throws that shit away. It's like, oh my god, my man is down bad. He can't stop thinking about this girl. Oh my god. And like the worst part was when we saw that thing where Buffy and Spike were fighting, and of course the cutaway implied that Buffy went to beat up Spike in order to, you know, de-stress. That was the cutaway joke. But when that happened, I was like, well, this can't be happening. And then the fight scene kept going so long that I was like, okay, they know that can't be happening. And I started calling like, okay, this is Spike fantasizing about Buffy or dreaming about Buffy again. But then the scene kept going longer, and at that point I was like, okay, maybe it's something else, because now that one is too obvious. And this is something I've noticed about the show before, but in this episode it happened like twice, which is the moment that I started thinking like, okay, no, I think he's dreaming it or like imagining it, daydreaming, and then he kept going, and I was like, okay, maybe that's not it. And then you see him fucking Harmony, and as he does so, he's thinking about Buffy, and that was like a level of like, oh my god, that's like too much, man. Like, oh my fucking god. But it's so funny too. It's like Spike is hopeless, absolutely hopeless. Like we're it's funny how fast this crush of Spike has developed. It's fucking funny how quickly it has devolved just out of control. because it's like 2 episodes ago he had the realization. Last episode he started acting like a fucking middle schooler who's in love with a girl that he likes, and now this episode is like so devolved into insanity. It's so fucking funny. And then he goes and decides to help them. It's great, to the point that like Spike helps Buffy, and then Buffy runs away because she doesn't see him, and Spike has a moment of like, I wanted her to thank me, you know, like he felt disappointed that she didn't say anything. I was like, oh my god. Well, Spike would like to know that Buffy's and Riley's ship is sinking rapidly. This episode, Riley had a moment where he just... Okay, so Buffy became really overprotective over Dawn, and Riley identified that, and he asked her what's going on. Buffy didn't tell him what's going on because she decided she doesn't want to tell anyone about it. And then Riley was like, fine, you don't want to tell me, you don't want me to help, okay, fuck you, and just left. Which is like, I get where Riley's coming from, because we just had these issues in the show where Riley felt like he's left out, felt like he's kind of weirdly like tired, like he's not good enough, and he needs that like superhuman thing in order to like fit in, and otherwise he's gonna be left behind, and he can't allow himself to fall behind because that means that he's gonna be out of reach from Buffy. And then Buffy had to tell him, that's really selfish of you to think, because you're assuming that I'm gonna leave you behind, and that means that you don't trust me. And then in this episode, literally like 2 weeks later, we get to see how Buffy doesn't want to tell Riley things. Riley can see that, and because he can see it, he's like, you just told me you wouldn't leave me behind. Like, I trusted you then when you said that. You changed my mind, and now it feels like you actually don't trust me. So, like, you can actually kind of see where Riley's coming from when he acts the way that he acts, and he just runs away, and he's like, you don't want me in your life? Fine, I'm just gonna leave. Because, like, the reason why that happened is because Riley noticed that Buffy knew something that was bothering her. And then she didn't tell him what it was. She lied. And he noticed that she lied. And, like, that's something about Riley that we do have to notice about him. We do have to give him credit. Is that he can actually tell what's going on with Buffy, or when something is going on with Buffy. And that's why he feels like he doesn't fit in sometimes, because if he can see how Buffy is distracted with other stuff, and he feels like he needs to be part of that in order to feel like he's worth anything. But that means that when Buffy actually lies to him, he's gonna know, and he's gonna be like destroyed because he wanted to be part of that. And if she doesn't tell him, he feels like it's because she doesn't trust him. Now, that doesn't mean that that's the way it works. Buffy can absolutely lie to him about a number of things, right? You can lie to a different person for any minor thing, you know? Like, this is not Pinocchio. You can lie to people, and you know, it's not necessarily a bad, horrible thing 100% of the time. But the fact that we just had those episodes where Riley's doubt came to light, and Buffy had to tell him, I'm not gonna leave you. You have to trust me. And then in this episode, it feels like Riley's kind of proven right whenever Buffy lies to him. I can see how Riley would have an emotional reaction to that. I can see it. And then he goes and drinks himself off in this like bar with all these monsters and demons and shit. And then at the end, he comes back and is like, actually, I'm fine, Buffy, hi, and they kiss, and he has a gift or whatever. But it's like, that's not real. Doesn't feel like it, right? We're not gonna have Riley have this thing where like he's like, oh, I have an issue with what's going on, and then it's like, oh, everything's fine, and then it's like, that's it. There's no middle. There's no like Riley struggling through that development and then coming on the other end. Like, that didn't happen. So because it didn't happen, we didn't see it. It means that this thing that Riley's doing at the end, he's showing up and he's like, oh yeah, I'm here for Tara's birthday. Sorry, I'm a little late. Haha, and then just kiss. It's kind of a little bit performative. It feels like Riley's he's kind of spiraling a little bit. So, yeah, Spike and Buffy have a shot. Because Buffy and Riley I don't think this couple is going to last until the end of the season. I don't think so. We got, like, no Joyce this episode also. Like, I just realized. Oh, I wanted to talk about Oh, fuck. There's so many things I want to talk about. Okay. Earlier, I mentioned how just the show kind of feels like they kind of want to trick you sometimes, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes I think it can be detrimental, but a lot of the times it's just like fun. And I mentioned it earlier when I was talking about Spike fucking Harmony, and he was like, okay, Buffy makes a joke about her finding some way to de-stress, and then we immediately cut joke to Buffy and Spike punching each other, which implies that Buffy went to punch Spike in order to de-stress. Like, that is the actual joke there. That is the implication. But if you're thinking about it, you're like, she didn't do that. And then as it's happening, you're thinking to yourself, okay, what's probably happening is the Spike is dreaming about Buffy again. But then the longer it keeps going, it feels like they wanted to give you time to think that Spike is dreaming about Buffy again. So then at that point, the show is a step ahead of you and they're doing something different, which is what they did, which is he's thinking about Buffy as he's fucking Harmony. Like, literally as he's doing it. And that's like a fun, like, it's this, no, it's that, no, it's that. Like, they keep swerving a little bit. And like, the one that really stood out to me was when we're following this, like, the doctor man. I want to talk about that guy because it's fun. But we're following the doctor guy, and he's going to his locker and he starts changing. I'm looking at that and I'm like, it would be interesting if this is going to be a character we're going to get to see like multiple times throughout the season. Like, he's going to be a recurring like character that like, he's going to be the eyes in the hospital, and he's going to see all these people going crazy, which is another thing we want to talk about. Oh my God. But like, he's going to be the guy that sees all of that. So that's interesting. We're going to see a new point of view with a new character from a different perspective. That's fun. And then as I'm saying that, I'm like, they're spending a lot of time with this guy just not doing nothing. Maybe he's about to get killed in 20 seconds, like Buffy season 1. And then as that is happening, the camera starts to pan away, and I'm like, okay, what's coming? Is the lady dressed in red? She's the big bad this season. And then it's not the lady in red, it's the demon. It's just a demon, a whatever demon. And then it's like, oh, never mind, it was a whatever demon. And then the lady in red actually does show up and takes the demon away. And actually the guy is fine. And he is going to be a recurring character we're going to see throughout the rest of the season. So like, that entire journey of like 5 different points that I went through, and then it ended up looping into itself and went back to point 1, is the thing where like, it feels like the show is swerving just to kind of have fun, because there was no fucking point in order for you to see that scene. Zero reason for you to see that doctor, and then the demon is gonna get him for some reason we don't know, and then the lady gets him, and then the demon is recruited to go and kill Buffy. It's like, none of those points are related into one another. It happened, and the only reason why it happened, what that scene happened the way that it did, was for me to think what I thought. Was for me to have this entire journey of like, oh my God, they're gonna kill the doctor. It's gonna be the girl. No, it's this demon. Actually, it was the girl. Actually, they're not gonna kill him. He's fine. It just, and maybe that's just me, right? Maybe that is just me, but it feels like sometimes I'm watching the show and the show is actively unwilling to cooperate with me. It's just doing whatever it wants to do. The show is being a contrarian on purpose. That's what it feels like sometimes. And I don't mean that negatively necessarily. It's just this thing where like again, like I just said, like, oh, is this the doctor? It's going to be fun if he reappears throughout the season and, you know, he's going to be related to all these cases that we're seeing. And that's, I feel like I'm like 90% sure that that's what's going to happen. But then the way that scene was directed made me think, okay, no, he's going to die. Is it gonna be the girl? It's not. It's a demon. Oh, there is the girl. Oh, they're ignoring him. He's fine. Okay, we're back to where we started. It's like, why do we have to swerve that hard into just a loop? It's funny, dude. It's just fucking funny. Anyway, I do like having a recurring character in this doctor. We've seen him for like 3 episodes now, so I'm assuming he's gonna keep coming back. He's gonna be this doctor guy that is maybe going to be the point of view character for some weird shit happening in regarding these patients, because they did mention this is like the 5th one this month. So it's interesting. We have multiple people that fall ill to something and they kind of go crazy, and we don't know anything about that. All we know that we can see here is that it's something weird. They don't know what it is, and it's really bad, and it's affecting multiple people. I wonder how, we don't know anything about why that might be though. Is it the lady in red? She, like, her presence is causing something? I don't know. But okay, potential victims. Well, victims and potential victims. 1, the guy that we just saw here. I don't know who it was. It was just a guy. 2, The guard at the night shift that Buffy saw last episode. 3, Joyce, maybe. She's not at that stage, but maybe she will reach that stage at one point. 4, the crazy guy that Dawn run into in front of the shop in episode 2. We still don't have any clue as to what that was. I keep bringing it up because he mentioned Little Miss Muffet. He referenced that shit. So, like, that has to matter somehow. But I have no idea how a random guy on the street connects to any of this. And this is a way in which it can connect. It's just a civilian casualty of some weird thing that is happening to Sunnydale, where multiple people are falling ill to whatever this is. That would be fun. I like that. In fact, I'm like 80% sure of that now, because that is a way of connecting that dot. So I like that. What it is, no fucking clue. Moving on. But it would be fun to see this doctor guy that we've seen a couple times now. He's gonna be someone that like that would be fun, because it would be like I don't know what to call it, but it's like he would be living his own like detective story where like he's realizing that something's wrong. He sees some things that are really bad, and he's like trying to piece together how any of this weird shit connects to something that makes sense in his mind. And then he's gonna like run into the Scoobies for whatever reason, and he's gonna be like, actually, I noticed this thing happens in the hospital with all these patients that I saw, and everyone's like, oh shit, like this doctor knows something. And then the two lines intersect and they connect to each other. That would be awesome. I would love to see that. Like Hayato at the end of part 4 in JoJo. That's great. Everyone watched that, right? You get that reference? I love that Tara is just such a dork, making references to like obscure random witchcraft shit. And then at the end of the episode, Anya's like, oh, okay, I get it. But it's still not funny. It's like, oh, it's even better. This is the funniest shit. Okay, something else I want to talk about. Oh yeah, it's really cool. I mean, it's cool, but it's also kind of a little bit disappointing, but it's also cool that they recontextualize that scene that we saw last season. Because in the recap, we saw a scene from last season when Willow and Tara were doing the spell, and Tara grabbed this thing that they were supposed to like use for the ritual, and then she just threw that shit away, just threw it under her bed or something. And then the spell didn't work. And at the time, I thought that she did that because she wanted to, pretend that like, the spell failed. Oh no, what could we do? Well, let's keep trying to do it. Let's keep trying to spend time together. It's like, because if the spell had been successful, like maybe that would have been it for the witch session. And it's like, well, I want to keep spending time with Willow, so it's like, oh no, we failed. What are we gonna do? Let's keep studying together. So that's what I assume. And in fact, I am not 100% sure if that wasn't the intended way that scene was supposed to be written anyway. Like, that wouldn't surprise me if they retroactively made it so it means something different. It could be, I don't know. But if that's the case, then sure, it works either way. I don't care. But it is fun how that scene is recontextualized now here with this episode, where Tara just didn't want to do that spell because it would mark her as a demon, so she didn't want people to see that she was a demon. And like, Tara at this point knows, like I mentioned in this episode, like, we don't hate demons here. We have sex with them. Like, Buffy fucked Angel, Willow fucked Oz, I'm pretty sure, and is currently fucking Tara. But she fucked Oz after he would turn into a werewolf. And Sander is fucking Anya. And it's this thing where, like, we all date all these demons or has-been demons or whatever. Like, that doesn't really matter, right? Like, that doesn't matter. But the thing about Tara is that, like, if you grew up your entire life being told that you're evil and you're destined to be alone and controlled by your family, you can never have a life, it's foolish for you to think that you deserve any of that, and that you could have any of that, and that you should have any of that, because you're an evil creature that needs to be locked away. I can understand how Tara has this thing of like, I'm still going to hide and run away. That makes complete sense. And makes me love her even more, by the way. Best character in this goddamn show. I don't care about anyone else. As I was watching the episode, I kept thinking about the shit with the tower that I noticed 2 episodes ago. And I was like, if Tara fucking dies or leaves or whatever, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be so upset. But no, I love this episode. Well, I love what it did for Tara. That was great. Anyway, I think that might be it for this episode. Buffy told Giles about the Dawn situation, but no one else knows. And that makes sense because Buffy was like, I don't want them to act weird around Dawn, and I would 100% assume that they would act weird around Dawn. In fact, I am convinced that they would act weird around Dawn. Like, Willow would be weird, Santa would be weird, maybe everyone would be weird. Because how could you not be? And something I do like, that I like that they brought this up earlier in the episode where Buffy's talking to Giles and she mentions, like, I remember how Dawn, like, cried for, like, a couple weeks straight whenever Dad left. But then she was like, but that didn't happen. And I do like that because that creates this, this kind of, like, thought exercise of, like, if it didn't happen, is it still real? And that's very interesting because it's like, I don't know. I saw like a comic or something in Tumblr the other day, which was like engineers are banned from philosophy discussions because like engineers are just gonna be like, no, it didn't, right? But like the philosopher is thinking about like, yeah, but like it still matters, right? It still has the meaning. But then an engineer is like, yeah, but it didn't happen. It's like, fuck you. But like, yeah, I'm definitely more in the philosophy side here because I'm thinking about it and I'm like, the fact that to Dawn it happened, to Buffy it happened, to everyone it happened, and even though it didn't physically happen, we all have the memory of it happening. We all act as if it happened. We all feel as if it happened. So how is it any different from if it were to have happened anyway? And the answer, I think, is just like, yeah, it's real. Like, it's just real because it's not different from if it wasn't real, because it absolutely is. Because what we have now is we have a real Dawn, we have the real memories, we have the real feelings. Even though they were fabricated, it doesn't make them any less meaningful. And that is something that I really like, that I would be interested in the show actually bringing up later. They brought it up a little bit there, but if they actually put more light into it, it's the idea of, yeah, like all of that was not real, but it doesn't make it fake because it still has the meaning that it would have regardless. Things are only as real as your brain tells you they are. This is also what I thought when I saw that dumb comic about like philosophy versus like engineers, which was like, how can you know if something is truly there? And the engineer is like looking. And it's like, well, yeah, but at the same time, where my brain goes, it's like, well, the perception that your eyes and ears and all your like senses that can perceive the world around you can only perceive the world in a very limited amount of ways. So you can't actually be certain about anything for sure. And this is something that I kind of live by. This idea that like I'm never really certain about anything ever, which is also something that like maybe people don't realize whenever they watch my videos. Sorry, there's like for the past like 40 minutes there have been like big vehicles just passing in front of my house. I have no clue why, but if you hear a noise, sure, sorry. But something I do like apply to my logic always whenever I make these videos is that like I'm never really certain of anything. I say things, but I'm never like fully sure, which means that like I'm always open to changing my mind. And that's something that like, I don't know if you can tell when I record these videos, but like sometimes I'll say something and immediately refute it. Immediately. Just like 180, never mind. Because like I just I air out my thoughts and my feelings and then I elaborate them as I go. Like I am always playing devil's advocate for myself because challenging my own thoughts and feelings is productive. I get to grow and learn more and change and grow. So back to Buffy. The question of, is Dawn real or are the memories that we had with Dawn real? And the answer is yes, because even though they didn't happen, the memory is real. The event didn't happen and the event wasn't real, but the memory of the event is real. And how is that any different from anything else that ever happened in your life? It's not different at all. Because all that you have, like at the end of the day, about anything, any event, are your memories of it. That event is gone. Time has passed and moved on. You only have your memory. And if your memories determine that something is real, then it's not real. So I do like that kind of like philosophical discussion about like what Dawn is to Buffy here. I do like that a lot. Anyway, I think that might be it for the episode. I don't know if there's anything else I can talk about. I love Tara. Alright, that's it. See you guys next week. Alright everyone, thank you for watching this reaction episode to Buffy. If you'd like to watch the next 2 episode reactions as well as full-length reactions and your watch alongs as well as the cool stuff that I do, you can check out the Patreon, link in the description below, pop up on the screen. See you guys next time. Take care everybody. Bye bye.